Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the nocturnal planet Mars. Mars is really your basic animal instinct. It is one of the nocturnal planets, which means that you can't readily understand it logically. It is one of those planets that you can really truly connect with only on an emotional, visceral level. It is the unconscious part of your ego, whereas the sun is the more logical, conscious part of your ego that you can kind of access and be like, oh yeah, like I can logically understand that that is a part of me that I want to project to the world. Mars is the part that you might not be so readily able to connect with intellectually. You can only connect with it if you feel it. If I talk to you about your feelings and how you feel whenever you're angry or whenever somebody like turns you on, that is your Mars. Mars is also that instinct and that drive that propels you forward and kind of allows you to go after the things that you want. So the things that your sun wants and your moon wants, Mars is the one that kind of gets you there. How is it that you're going to be able to get those things that you want? Well, Mars is the one that's going to tell you how it is that you're going to be able to get those things. So first, I'm going to give you some characteristics. Then I'm going to talk to you about what really ticks off your Mars, like the things that make you angry. Then I'm going to talk to you about the things that kind of turn on that specific Mars. And lastly, just some general turn-offs. So if you like somebody who has a specific Mars, this will be useful so that you can, make sure that you're not doing those things that are going to turn them on. And finally, we've made it to the cutest Mars placement. And this is probably offensive to Mars and Pisces people. I'm not trying to be offensive. I love you. It is a very adorable and sweet, and I just love this placement so much. So let's get into it. So Mars in Pisces, this is not very comfortable because I like to think of Pisces as like the angel, the guardian angel, just this fantastical creature being that is so pure and full of light and love for humanity and the universe. That is Pisces. And Mars is the warrior archetype. Remember that Mars is really that driving force that tries to get you the things that you need in this life. So the things that your sun wants to accomplish, the things that your moon needs, the dreams of your midheaven, all of those things Mars is going to try to get in this life. And depending on what sign your Mars is in, will tell you how easy or how difficult it'll be. And when your Mars is in the sign of Pisces, it is a little bit difficult. And the reason for that is because Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, so that's where it gets its dreamy nature, its optimism, but it's also ruled by Neptune. Neptune is that just nebulous, diffuse planet that makes everything very watery and just very mysterious and ethereal, okay? So think about that ethereal spiritual energy coming through a warrior. Really, the drive for Mars and Pisces is union. They really seek to have union with everyone, with mankind. And because they acknowledge and they understand that all of us are one, so they really don't understand when people are mean to each other because they're just like, buddy, like, don't hurt me because you and I are the same person. You and I are one. Like, why are we hurting each other? They don't understand and they don't like it. It's kind of like the Mars and Libra situation because Libra is driven towards relationships, except remember that Venus is like the lower octave of Neptune. Neptune is all-encompassing love, not just with one-on-one, but Neptune really is that love for humanity and the universe and for every single thing that's in existence. That is Pisces. They have love for all of those things that are in existence, and they understand that they are a part of all of those things that are in existence and that those things are part of them. So this Mars placement they don't get mad, they get hurt. And they're very easily hurt because they're very tender-hearted, because their ability to do things it's hard for them to do things. So when people criticize the way that they do things, it really hurts because it's just like, bro, like it was so hard for me to get this done. Can you get off me? Like, it's totally understandable. They really are defenders for those who suffer because they understand the suffering of the world, as I said. They're very in tune to humanity as a whole, but because this is Mars you're talking about, Mars is the crusader, Mars is the warrior. So what are they going to war for? What are they crusading against or for? They really are fighting for people who don't have defense, for people who have no strength, for people who have no allies. This is the placement that is going to go to defend people who have no one defending them, okay? They defend those who are defenseless. They can really be crusaders for the suffering of humankind, and of not just humankind, for animals, for just anything for nature, for anything that is in existence and is suffering. This placement will go to battle for them, okay? They are supremely altruistic. So what ticks them off? As I've already said, with Pisces, it's not really things that make them mad. They get hurt. They don't get mad at you. They are injured by you. Just harshness, meanness, criticism, evil, anything that is harsh is going to tick them off. But really, it hurts them. And as I've already said, it's because it's difficult for them to get things done. So when people criticize them, it's like, you know that I'm having such a hard time getting this done, and on top of that, you're gonna criticize me. It's like they've been climbing this mountain. It's like they're injured. Imagine like an injured person who's been shot up and they're like trying to climb a mountain, and then somebody comes and is just like, man, like you're climbing so slow. It'll make them feel like, oh, I'm just gonna let go and fall all the way back down. And sometimes they do. Sometimes they're so hurt by criticism, they'll just let go and they'll fall all the way back down and climb back up again. And everything is much harder with this placement, because Pisces is very tender and they get hurt so easily. So them going through life and trying to go for the things that they want is made difficult by their sensitivity. And whenever people criticize them, it really puts them back and really makes them fall all the way back down to the mountain. So my advice to you, Mars and Pisces, and I have Neptune squaring my Mars, so I understand it. My advice to you is, anytime that you're moving, you're trying to get things done, do it in silence. Don't tell other people what you're doing, because even the kindest of people are going to try to give you advice, and that advice could rub you the wrong way and it could hurt you. So if you really have something that you really are trying to do, Mars and Pisces, anything that you truly care about, that you're trying to get done, make sure you're not telling anybody. Just move in silence, move in the dark. Don't let other people see what you're doing until you accomplish something that is strong enough that won't be shaken by people's criticism. That's my advice to you. This wasn't even an advice video, but it just turned into it, Mars and Pisces. So what turns them on? How can you turn on a person with Mars and Pisces? Kindness. They really like kindness. If they see somebody doing something kind for somebody else, they're gonna get a huge boner for it. They really like people who are altruistic, who have good hearts, and who are out there helping others. They really like that. And along those same lines, they like people who are wise. So people who don't take harsh or just petty action, who show wisdom and show that they are behaving and living from a higher state of mind and higher state of being. They're just like, I see you. Like, I see your wisdom. I see your kindness. I'm into it. They like that. They really are also turned on by romanticism and high ideals. So people who exhibit qualities that are kind of romantic, kind of like those storybook tropes, that fairy tale fantasy type person, they really are gonna be into people like that. People that are a little bit elusive and mysterious, that you don't know everything about them, that turns them on. Not in a Scorpio sort of way. They don't like to dig. They like to just use their imaginations and imagine all of your wonderful potential. So a thing with Pisces is that they see the best in people. So with Mars and Pisces, this person is turned on by people that exhibit good qualities, altruistic qualities, and they don't have to know everything about you. They'll just fill in the gaps with something wonderful. That turns them on. And they really are turned on by the idea of fairy tale love and meant to be. Anytime that something seems meant to be, their antennas are definitely going off. So what turns them off? What do they really not like? They don't like cruelty of any kind. They don't like people who make fun of others, who belittle people, who criticize others. They don't like that. They don't like criticism on themselves, but they don't like to see you criticize others, because they'll see that if you're critical and you're harsh, then if you're being that way towards other people, then that means that you could potentially turn around those weapons and point it at them. And since they're so tender, it's just like, that hurts me. Can you not do that? They don't like that at all. And another thing that they don't like is people who are like too realistic, very Saturn, and being like, oh, in the real world, we do it like this. Or like, oh, the real world is hard. Or so you have to be harder. Like, they're not. They're just like, no, like the real world can be soft. The real world can be loving and caring. And you just have to behave that way. And the world will reflect whatever it is that you put out there. That is more their way of thinking. So that's the video for today, guys. If you liked it, make sure you give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to my channel. I put out astrology videos every single week, and I will see you in the next one.